now be diving into the phone-in segment where you would give us your thoughts and opinions on the issue that we are going to be discussing today, Nigeria's national security. Insecurity has had a devastating impact on our economy and society, and a lot of people and there's been talks of state policing. From 2009 to February 2025, estimates suggest that insecurity has cost Nigeria billions of naira in lost economic opportunities, infrastructure damage, and displacement of people. And as they say, an insecure state is a volatile state. The statistics are alarming: over 100,000 lives lost, millions displaced, and countless businesses shut down. Insecurity has also deterred foreign investment, stifled economic growth, and exacerbated poverty. The question on everyone's mind is, what is the solution? And not only a solution, a lasting solution. The debate around state police has gained momentum, with proponents arguing that it could help address security challenges more effectively at the local level. But is state police the answer to Nigeria's national security challenges? That is the question we want to hear your thoughts on. Join us in this discussion. Call in now and share your thoughts. What do you think is the solution to Nigeria's security woes? Is state police the way forward, or do we need to explore other options? Call us on the number displayed on your screen, or send us a WhatsApp message so that we can read out your thoughts as well.
I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. No point in further debating it. I was quite disappointed when the Economic Council met this past week.
And there was no discussion of...
And they decided to postpone it as usual, kick the ball ahead so that we don't have to discuss it now, while there are pressing issues that are shaping the lives and the livelihood of Nigerians. Case in point, what has happened recently in Benue and in Plateau State. And the common denominator is that the governors keep wailing and complaining about how their hands are tied.
They have no power.
They have no powers, and there's very little resources to deploy. But let's just speak to our first caller, someone who's calling from a state that is all too familiar with insecurity. Shatima Yakudima calling from Maiduguri. Shatima, good morning.
Good morning, Abdullahi. Good morning, Hauwa. This is Shatima Yakudima calling from Maiduguri.
It's always a pleasure, Shatima. How is Maiduguri this morning? How's the weather?
Maiduguri, alhamdulillah, the weather is so dull. Abdullahi is extremely hot, honestly speaking. We are praying for God, and we are asking for our people to drink more water, as the physicians are advising.
Yeah, exactly. Shatima, let's talk about security, state police. What do you make of the recent lack of momentum from the very top?
Well, honestly speaking, Abdullahi, state policing is a good idea. Why? Because the youth that they will be recruited, they are from that area. They know knock and cranny of the area. They know they can easily identify any stranger that come in. It's a good idea, in fact. But our fear is that we have fear of not politicians to pocket them, to be using them in their political agenda. That's our fundamental fear. But if at all the politicians, they will be sincere, they will be honest, they will abide by the rules to use that police, state police sincerely. It will lead a very good result. But our fear is, as I told you, our fear is by the time power was given to them, they have become drunk over power. The politicians, they can easily use them to achieve their own political desire. But despite the fact, I think it's not only state policing. We can become policing all the citizens. All of us, we can become a policing. We will be monitoring the movement in our area, and our citizens, they have to contribute. The contribution of the citizens here is they should desist from supplying anything that will help a criminal. But anything that can assist a criminal, they desist from supplying. If you cut them from all supply, I think they can easily be defeated. But people they become desperate. Some they take petroleum to them. Some they take food stock to them. That's what it is becoming it is becoming a problem, and it's becoming very difficult for for the security agencies to just defeat them. And our soldiers, I think they have to change the way the way and manner of their operation. I think they have to adopt an offensive campaign rather than defensive campaign that they are doing now. You cannot wait for somebody to attack you before you just attack him. You have declared a war on this man. You have to pursue him anywhere he is. Attack him at any time, whether he expecting your attack or he's not expecting your attack. You just be mounting attack on him at all the time. I think if I don't adopt that, I think things will be so easy and so cheapest to defeat them. Right. That's my take. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shatima. It's always good to hear from you. But I'd just like to express my concern about that particular point of view that Shatima just expressed, because it has been a recurring argument that the fear of governors using it or abusing their control over state police should negate the possibility of exploring this pursuit, right? Exactly. And I do remember Franklin D. Roosevelt, the late American president, say the only thing you have to be afraid of is fear itself. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself, because fear can quite neutralize some of the best ideas individuals or societies can come up with. I believe we have Ade from London on the line. Ade, good morning. Always a pleasure to hear from you. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you today? Good morning to my sister. They hardly hear you. Your voice is very low.
Yeah, we can hear you, Ade. So please go ahead.
Yeah, you can hear me, but I can't hear you. Anyway, don't worry. Regarding the state police, I think it's long overdue. With the situation of things now, you can remember when Boko Haram was at its peak in Borno State, there was what they call civilian GTF. And those are the local boys. And it really helps because they can recognize those people. They even know their houses. So they help the military to succeed in that area because they are local. They know themselves. And some of them even join the army. So we need the police, the state police. It's very important. Even local government police. That is the only thing that can checkmate all these bandits that we are experiencing now. Because they can easily recognize the stranger among them and tackle the issue. But having a state police is not there by mouth. They should be equipped with AK-47, AK-49, all the latest gadgets. They should have it so they can match up with the bandits. Not that they should give them big gun. No. Where Amateku was established in my state, during my last, my lead governor, you can imagine the effectiveness of Amateku there. In the Southwest, they are the only one that, very, very effective. So, if you imagine now, they are now converted to state police, giving good ammunition, you can imagine what they will do. So, local people know themselves. So, that is the best way to help. But a government, if they are really serious in tackling all this unnecessary killing, unnecessary terminating people's life, Nigeria wasn't like this before. I don't know what is happening. Honestly, Nigeria wasn't like this. We respect life and we love ourselves. We do things together. I remember in those days in the 80s when I'm about to travel from Kano to Lagos. I go in the night in the bus. We enjoy the serene. We stop in the night on the road. We eat. Everybody jump. We go again. No fear. Everything was rosy.
Yeah. I really do understand where you're coming from with this one, Adi. And as always, a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. I think we've lost our connection to him there just before we finish his thoughts. But I think we all know that from his disposition, he's a proponent for state police. So just to his point, he's alluding to how if we have, say for instance, Amotekun as a regional outfit that is augmenting the security services in the southwest, and you have all these civilian GTF or community watch or whatever you have at the state level, then if we're trying to mimic state police with all these non-state actors that are not well equipped, how about we just go the whole hog and do it the right way?
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes sense. I mean,
the point that they drove, that they're locals, they know the area, they know the people, that would probably help. I think
state policing is community policing. That's the way I see it. I think Abasekon is joining the conversation. Abasekon from Gombe. Abasekon, good morning.
Thank you, my friend Abdullahi Ahmed, and my good sister Hauwa. Sincerely speaking, the combination of two of you today looks very, very cute.
Thank you for that.
I want to go down the line by saying that Shetima has spoken very, very well. Each time I hear Shetima speak, it's like I'm the one speaking. That is why I don't like calling once I hear him talk. But I just want to add to what he said. When we talk about security, what is security? Security is all precautionary measures taken to protecting life and property. The property of Nigerian states. Then when we talk about security, what does it mean to talk about security? We talk about security because of threats from the enemy, because of fear, because of possibly harm and losses. Now, what is security threat? That is the angle that we need to double into, that we are not having something to do with it in this country. And it's not everything we need to say on the radio or on the TV or on newspapers once it matters to security. Security threat is that person that is being under pressure or threat to safety of the church, mosque, organization, local government, and the country. There are basic fundamentals that needs to be checked in terms of security. What are those fundamentals? We have active security, and nobody seems to do anything about active security. We have passive security. Nobody does anything about this passive security, which is the function of the SSS. We have micro security. That is the function of a vigilante. And we have micro security. This is the function of what do they call this state policing that they want to create. Then we have the preventive security and the detective security. All these functions are not being put in place. I'm telling you sincerely speaking, there are some people that you can call and then most of the things that are happening here will be checked. We don't need to create state policing. We don't need it. That money will be so cumbersome to spend. People will eat it. That money should be invested in AI, artificial intelligence, where most of our important things will be fished, will be monitored. If that is not done, we are heading to chaos. I want to tell you that I think some few days ago, some security experts, some security experts expressed worry over weaponized and drones. In fact, there was a situation where an armored tank was seized from the military and operated by insurgents. We need to diversify into AI. That is what we need. The whole world, the world has gone global. Last time there was a meeting of AI at France, where countries went and they were showing what the stuff they are made of. Why can't we double into AI, artificial intelligence? Thank you, my brother. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Abasekon.
I want to add that Trust TV trust radio and trust newspaper. You people have wider coverage. You people have been really, you have stolen my heart. That is why I watch your program. And after this, I go to CNN.
Yeah.
Trust TV has been a station of my heart. If there's a way I can contribute, I will contribute to making Trust TV the CNN of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our second. It's always a pleasure. He always finds a way to flatter us and all of that. But we do appreciate the compliments, and more importantly, we do appreciate you tuning in, day out, to be a part of the conversation. But more importantly, some of the points that he has made, and that's why you have pros and cons in conversations like this. It's become a national debate. This is not the first time we're talking about this on this particular platform, but you can understand the urgency and the need to have this conversation because of everything that has been happening of late, right? There are gaps within our security architecture, and one way or the other, we need to find a lasting solution.
Exactly, to fill those gaps. And that is definitely a different take that he took, in as much as the state policing could be a very, very good idea. There are thoughts that have been brought up that there could be a lot of disadvantages to it. It could be misused and taken advantage of through, their political dealings, and they could be used as well in an advantageous way, whereby they know the locals. And for him, Abasekwa was talking about AI and technology that could be used in detecting threats and before they happen and assessing them. So with that, maybe it's another point that could be looked at and see how it could help in closing those gaps of insecurity.
I get that argument too. But at the end of the day, we're talking about lives. We're talking about the destruction that is on a scale that we've never seen before.
Exactly.
We've seen our security challenges multiply year in, year out. A decade ago, our biggest challenge was the Boko Haram insurgency.
Yes.
Now, we're talking about banditry in the northwest. We're talking about
kidnapping,
attacks,
community
unrelenting
clashes.
attacks in the north central, which has been a big part of our agricultural value chain in terms of food production. We're already dealing with the existential threat of food insecurity.
Exactly.
So there's all of these things to consider, and it's always better late than never in terms of these conversations. I believe we have a caller on the line, Hauwa.
Good morning. Oh, I think we lost the call. Please call us back so that we can hear your thoughts on this particular issue.
You can also send us a message via WhatsApp. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can articulate your thoughts and send them to our WhatsApp numbers showing on your TV screen. We're talking about national security, whether state police is the answer, because the governors met in the Economic Council and they decided it's not a top priority now. At least that's our understanding of what they alluded to last week by pushing it down the line to be discussed further. But obviously, we have a military that is overstretched. No one needs to be told about that. A police that is incapable of addressing significantly some of our everyday security challenges.
Absolutely.
I know it might come off as harsh, but that is the reality of most Nigerians, north, south, west, east. That is the fact of the matter. There are communities where they are under-policed. Case in point, the recent developments in Kwara, for instance, in parts of Kogi, with some of the concerns around the activities of illegal mining, some of these terror groups attacking villages and communities that are not well secured, so to say. You even have state governors who have been given their thoughts about some of these developments. Borno, Plateau, Benue. Last year, it was Katsina State Governor Dukoratna giving his thoughts about how unequipped or ill-equipped the Nigerian police is. The scale of the problem is just simply bigger than the scale of the solution. And that's why we're asking the question, is state police going to be the panacea, the answer that helps us remedy the situation?
I believe we have another caller on the line. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, gentleman and woman. Good morning to you. Where are you calling from? And who is on the line?
My name is Rabi Salifu, calling you from Katsina State.
Rabi, a pleasure to hear from you again. How is Katsina this morning? Dusima, right?
Yes, thank you very much.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, Rabi. Go ahead.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So you are talking about the national security relating to the state police.
Right.
So what is happening now in Nigeria, the government cannot protect its citizens. So because I think the prohibition of security personnel within the domain, especially the state police or local vigilante, if they can mitigate the vituperative attack, mostly caused by the miscrime in community, it's a welcome development. Because if you lay down your hand, you think the government can protect you from this banditry, kidnapping. So you are only deceiving yourself. But the government who are willing to do it, the state government, if they can provide alternatives, supporting the military, supporting the civil defense and other security outfits, so they will alleviate, mitigate the problems. Because even today I am telling you, I see people going to the forest, carrying ransom money. I am telling you, even weapons, carrying ransom money, millions, to go and give the bandits. So I am not supporting this in reality. So provision of these security outfits, whether vigilante or something like that, that can support the policemen, the military, better condition of service, give them proper training. This will prevent this incessant attack. So for somebody who is living in comfortably, I think, and repudiate the suggestion of state policing is something that cannot be tenable. So you shall get the problem laid in your hand and find the solution so that the people will live in peace and harmony.
Yeah. Rabi, articulate thoughts there, and thank you so much for giving us that perspective, especially from Katsina, where the insecurity there is quite telling also. I know that the security forces have made some inroads in providing succor to some of these at-risk communities, but there's still a challenge there. And there's only one thing, or a couple of other things in life that people can never argue when they get more of it, Hauwa. That's money and security.
Exactly.
Nobody complains when you have more security,
There's
right?
no
Because it only gives you leverage to do more, to be at peace, right? And to witness a lot more growth and development in your life. So if more security is going to come through state policing, I mean, we're already doing it using the half measure with vigilantes, community watch here and there, and we all know that they're not as standard as your police or civil defense or the Nigerian military, right? So maybe we just go the whole way. Let's quickly take a look at our WhatsApp platform. There are a couple of messages there to get through. The first one is coming from Ayuba in Gombe. He says, the answer to your question is yes and no. This is because the advantages of having state police is equal to its disadvantages. Okay, interesting. He went further to say they can be used to tackle security challenges in the states as well as used for political victimization. Let us give it a try, but with a serious attitudinal change, I suppose it's trying to say, from the citizens and leadership in terms of patriotism and the welfare of those that will be appointed to defend their communities. I think while that concern is there, there is no proven evidence, there is no empirical evidence to suggest that this political victimization.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. My name is Mansour, calling from Jalingo, Taraba State Capital.
All right, good morning, Mansour from Jalingo. How is Jalingo this morning?
Doing fine this morning.
All right, can we hear your thoughts on state policing? Jalingo, how is Jalingo this morning? Can we hear your thoughts on state policing?
So,
Can you first please turn off your television so that we don't hear any interference, and so we can hear your thoughts clearly?
Okay,
Thank
ma.
you.
So my take on state policy is good is bad at the same time. Good is bad because some, politicians may likely use the state police to intimidate the opposition party, especially during political, game. The advantage of state police is actually much more greater than that of, disadvantage of it. But the problem is our politicians, especially the state governors. So my take is that if the state police will come, to exist, please, our governors, our politicians should do the needful. Please let us prioritize peace and stability of our people over our political interests. So I think with this, that's my take this morning.
All right, Mr.
Morning once again.
Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Those concerns are legitimate concerns. However, does that negate the bigger picture of what is at stake? Let's go back to our WhatsApp page now to take a look at other messages, Hauwa.
All right, we have Zeus from Kano State. He said, let's say something about the security. He thinks all these troubles happened here in Nigeria. It happened in the northern side, and he doesn't know why people die without, doing anything. Boko Haram is working only in the northern side. Why? That is why all Nigerians knew that. Many of us had said is a setup from the leaders, and they love money more than their souls.
Right, Zeus. Yeah, a difficult read there, but I think we get the point. Thank you most kindly for joining the conversation. Feel free to send more of your thoughts through WhatsApp if that's the option that you want to go with, but you can also give us a call. The number is shown on your TV screen. And remember, rules of engagement. When you do call in, ensure that the volume of your TV set is turned down to the maximum, or to the minimum rather, and of course let's have a free-flowing conversation from there on out. The inadequacy of state police, according to the next message, is addressing Nigeria's national security challenge, which is glaring, illustrated by the misuse of power by some state governors who often prioritize their political interests over the safety of the people. The experience with local government autonomy serves as a cautionary tale. Granting states the authority to create state police forces could lead to further abuse and politicization of security, exacerbating the very issues that need resolution. The alarming situation in northern Nigeria, characterized by significant loss of lives and resources, underscores the urgency of a cohesive and effective solution. Moving forward, he says, a comprehensive national strategy that involves recruiting an additional 50 million police personnel, coupled with improved welfare, is vital for restoring security in Nigeria. Furthermore, investing in grassroots education and infrastructure improvements in primary and secondary schools, alongside providing consistent and reliable electricity, can tackle the root causes of insecurity. By addressing these fundamental challenges, Nigeria can work towards a safer future, fostering an environment where the well-being of its citizens is prioritized over political ambitions. Muhammad Usamat Suleiman, a journalist from Shinmo FM radio in Jalingo, with that comment. 50 million, Muhammad. Do the math. That is a lot. Not even China has 50 million police officers. It's just too much. That's 1/4 of our population yes, in the security forces. I think that's just too much. And yeah, we can't afford it, to say the least, even if you're going to pay them 10,000 naira a month. I mean, just imagine that burden on the wage bill. And mind you, there is the military, there's the other security forces there. So yeah, I think the president once said that, but I think it it was a gaffe during the campaign season when he said 50 million. But yeah, point taken. We need more police officers. I think we have another message to look at, Hauwa.
All right. So the next message is from Olushona Olalekong Ebenezer from Ilorin, Kwara State. He said, I believe state-controlled police would be detrimental to Nigeria, as it would likely lead to misuse of power and abuse of authority. I know that is
What's with all this fear?
That is everyone's fear.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what is needed has to be done.
Exactly.
We have another caller online. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Who are we speaking to?
Yeah, speaking with Shoyembo Tolani from Ogun State.
Oh, Mr. Tolani, thank you so much for joining today. No WhatsApp. At least we get to hear your voice about this one. So please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. Concerning the issue of state police, I think it's overdue. Ahmed, you know, those days, your generation, those days, we have to have one endoka in the northern Nigeria. They could every nuclear economy of northern Nigeria, and they knew all the newcomers, they knew the strangers, they knew the habitants of that community. So if the community to the community without that knowledge, and they're very, very effective. Now, the argument is that the police, the government will abuse them. What is the present system of government? Is the federal government dealing with the federal police?
Yeah.
We are passing democracy for United States. You know, they have different security agencies, state policies. They have what is called FID. They have border security. They have other countries. They have every kind of security. The state have security. They have a sheriff. Why can't they practice that? We are always afraid of the state police. Amatiku is doing well. Hisba in Canada is doing the empire they are doing. The security in this country differs from one state to another. So we need to raise up people from the local community who tackle all this insecurity. We need to train them and give them equipment. The federal government refuses to give them the money to buy, to buy AK-59. Even to buy food, they can't buy it without the approval of the federal government.
Yeah.
So we need what is it called? State policing. It's necessary that we need it now because we know our locality and we know how to call these things. They depend on waiting for Abuja to come and bring I think a bit weeks ago, and then the police deploy some people to Benue State, some to Plateau State. Is that the issue? Those are things they don't know the locality.
Yeah.
So we need state police, and we need it now. That's my suit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shoyembo Tolani. I appreciate you for calling. As always, one of our regulars, especially sending his thoughts usually through WhatsApp. But to his point exactly is that, you know, whatever it is that we have right now is clearly inadequate in terms of addressing the problem. The very best of the current situation right now is not giving us the best in terms of services. And there are other well fine-tuned solutions out there that we can borrow from so that we can decentralize the system. Right? We call our governors chief security officers, but they're to use the metaphor. What is the use of a dog who can only bark but can't bite? Right? Because they're very limited in terms of their power there.
And the control that they have.
And the control that they do have. So, yes, begs the question, what are we actually trying to achieve? Plus, we can have guardrails. We can have guardrails where they can't abuse those powers. At the end of the day, we still have the Nigerian army. If a governor misbehaves or is abusing his powers, we have the state assembly to check him. If the state assembly is unable to check him, we have the judiciary. If the judiciary fails, we have the Nigerian army to swoop in and address whatever gaps that may exist currently. I think we have another message on our WhatsApp platform. So let's take a look at the next one.
Okay. So we have Mubarak Isa Abubakar from Jos, and he says, from my own perspective, not all states have the capacity in terms of revenue to sustain a police force that is capable of handling security challenges bedeviling us as a nation. And if the poor funding will be the next talking point, All efforts will potentially lead to disparities and completely weaken our overall national security. Therefore, any move towards state police would require robust institutional reforms to prevent misuse as a result of poor funding.
Then let's do that. If Lagos State needs only 10,000 police officers, let Lagos State hire just 10,000.
Exactly.
If Adamu State needs only 2,000, let Adamu State just recruit 2,000. It shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all type of situation where you're saying every state should recruit 5,000.
Well, you tailor it according to the needs of that state. Check the vulnerability.
If you only need 1,500 people because you're a state like Ebonyi State, for instance, and you have very limited security challenges, there's no point in recruiting 10,000 police officers in
as to other states that have more security challenges.
So, there's never a one-size-fits-all type of arrangement in terms of that, but I think it's also a valid point that needed to be made about funding, because we have also talked about how some of these states, as things stand right now, what is the situation with their civil servants, how are they able to meet their financial obligations, states like Yobe, states like Zamfara, and all of these other states that are not necessarily up there in terms of revenue generation or in terms of available resources to be deployed. But these are things that can be fashioned out, because at the end of the day, we need something that looks like a solution where Nigerians can be able to go to sleep without the fear of any attack or intimidation, whether they're in a rural settlement or they're in an urban center. Regardless of where your location is, security should be a guarantee, because that is the main point, in case you've missed it, behind having a government in the first place. Security of life and property, and then everything else follows in between. That is all the time we have for Daybreak Interactive. Thank you most kindly for your wonderful contributions. We do appreciate you for taking part in our interactive session.